Hey guys, most of you know me, but for those who don't, my name is Gary Weiland, and I am your awesome teacher, Mrs. Weiland's husband. Now, a little over a year ago, my doctor had to amputate my leg. That's right, my doctor had to cut my leg off. So, I can see on the look on some of your faces that that comes as quite a shock. Now, can you imagine the look on my face when the doctor told me that? Right? So, now that I have your attention, I want to tell you a little story. How many of you in here have a sister? All right. Raise your hand. All right. Did you raise your hand? Be honest. All right. So just checking to see if you're paying attention here. All right. So I don't have a sister, but I do have a brother. So who has a brother? Raise your hand. Huh? Did I get you? Did I get you? All right. So growing up, it was just me and him, right? Now he's 5 years older than me and he's bigger than me. I remember playing basketball against him in our backyard and he would always beat me. He had all the size, right? He's 6'2", 230. I was 5'5", 110 when I graduated high school. So you can imagine how short I was in the 6th grade, right? I was a little bitty. So he would just annihilate me, right? But you know what? I never gave up. I loved basketball. Still do. I actually met my beautiful bride, your teacher, playing basketball. So I wasn't about to let my big brother keep beating me. But what was I to do? He's bigger, he's stronger, he's taller. So like literally every time I'd drive to the rim, he would just block me, right? I'd step outside the three-point line, try to shoot a three, and he would just stuff me, right? I mean, he wouldn't just like stuff me. He would send that thing flying, right? I mean, he would send it flying into the neighbor's yard. And so where I grew up, we didn't have these tall privacy fences that a lot of you guys have nowadays. We had these shorter chain link fences, right? They're about 4 feet tall. So in order to get the ball, I either had to go around to the front of my neighbor's house, knock on the door, tell them what happened, wait for them to go to the backyard, get my ball, throw it back into our yard, right? Or I could just hop the fence, right? And so what would you do, right? So most of you in here are thinking, just hop the fence, right? No question. Now here's the problem. So they have a dog. Now don't get me wrong, super nice dog, unless there was someone or something who didn't belong back there. Then it protected its territory, right? So now this dog was about as big as me, because I was pretty small, right? So I was a little concerned that I might not make it back. But as a 12-year-old, I was fearless and up for the challenge. I remember the first time that I climbed that little fence. I say climbed because I was really small, remember? All right, so my brother, he probably could have just stepped over the fence, grabbed the ball, came back, no big deal. But that wasn't happening. So anyway, their dog was in the house. So I figured it was safe to go for it. I climbed the fence, landed on the other side, no dog in sight. I was golden, right? I grabbed my basketball, start heading back to the fence, and I hear this loud clang, this metal on metal clang. And I looked to my left, and it was the doggy door. And their dog had spotted me from their back porch, and it was coming for me. And I never ran so fast in my whole life. Like I literally flew over the fence. I don't even know how I got over it. I just remember my brother saying, "Dude, you flew over the fence." So it was pretty crazy. But next time the ball went over the fence, what do? You know, what would you do? Do you go for it? Or do you go around the front and go through the whole thing? Well, I went for it. Right? I wasn't about to let this huge dog who would probably bite my leg off. Oh, that didn't end well, did it? Stop me from getting what I wanted. Time and time again, my brother would send the ball flying into the neighbor's yard, and time again, I would get it. Each time, though, running faster and faster, climbing faster and faster, until the day that I could jump that fence without touching it, grab the ball, jump back over the fence. Dog didn't even know I was there. Didn't even know. So all the while I was getting better at basketball, right? So the day finally came that I was faster than my brother and I could beat him at basketball. So I was pretty excited. All those times that he blocked me and sent me over to the neighbor's yard, I mean, just blocked the snot out of me. It was crazy. And it just was making me better. And I didn't realize it at the time, but my brother was giving me a good life lesson there. Now, as a kid, I didn't necessarily understand what was happening there. And I don't know if he did it on purpose or not, but I did learn something. Now, I could have easily given up, right? There's no way that I could ever beat him. He's bigger, he's stronger, he's faster. Why should I even try? But I didn't give up. I kept working and practicing and jumping, right, until the day that I could beat him. Never gave up. Now, that concept has carried me through my life. I've had to face a lot of adversity in my life. If you don't know what adversity is, pause this video and look it up. If you don't know how to use a dictionary, your teacher is going to be very disappointed in you. So Google it if you have to, but go ahead and pause it. I'll wait. All right, for those of you that didn't pause the video, I'll tell you what it is. Adversity is basically any situation in your life that is difficult, right? Whether it's losing a job when you get a little bit older, or having to move, I'm sure a lot of you have, or a big brother sits on you just because he wants to, right? So, maybe a family member passes away, or your pet dies, maybe you get a bad grade in English, I don't know. But adversity hits everyone, right? So I've had all of these things happen to me, and it's tough. Unfortunately, it is part of life. So how do we move forward in these situations? It can be very challenging. So unfortunately, as we go through these things, we learn a lot from adversity. All right. One thing that you learn is what your true character is, right? So who are you, right? Especially when things aren't going the way that you would like them to go, right? You really get to find out what your character is there. One of the biggest adversities that I've had to face is, of course, my leg being amputated. Now, I was extremely worried about a lot of things, like what did my future hold, right? A lot of you know that before my amputation, I was a firefighter. What was going to happen now? Right? You can't fight fire with one leg. So what are my options? Quit, give up, certainly an option, right? But what's my character? Who am I, right? Who are you? How would you respond? I choose to look at things a little bit different. This is just another challenge. It's another way for me to just figure this thing out. And so I need to adapt to the situation and overcome it, right? Adapt and overcome. Is it going to be easy? No way. Are there going to be struggles along the way? Absolutely. But anything that has value is worth fighting for. It's worth working for, right? So that's what I did. I went to work. I immediately told myself that I was going to get through this and that I was going to figure out a way to fight fire again. I had no idea how that was going to work, but I was determined to make it happen. And looking back, that decision has made all the difference, right? So did you catch that? I decided, right? I chose how I would look at the situation. I wasn't going to let the situation decide the outcome. I was going to choose the outcome. So I had to put a plan together. How was I going to get there? What was I going to do? What was it going to take? A lot of hard work. It was going to be tough physically and mentally. So let's start with the physical part, right? I had to learn how to walk again, pretty crazy, right? Like, so everybody stand up. Come on, everybody stand up. There's a tendon just below your kneecap. All right. Now, as you pick up your leg or bend it or relax it, right? It contracts, it tightens, it softens, right? Different things it does. All right. So when you put your heel down, what does that tendon do? Right? You put that heel down, it contracts, right? It fires. So when you do that, you've already trained your brain how to walk, right? So every time you put your heel down, that tendon fires, it contracts. And so it helps you, it keeps your body up, right? Helps you to walk. It holds you up. So try and take a step without contracting that tendon and see what happens, right? I think a couple of you would try that. I don't know how that's going to end. You might fall down. Don't fall down. If you did fall down, thank you for taking it to the extreme, because I have fallen down and it does not feel good. So, how important is that heel, right? It's pretty important. So since I don't have a heel, I have to teach myself how to hold my leg up. It's not as easy as it looks sometimes. So there's a muscle between your knee and your hip, right? This muscle right here is called your quad, right? And so whenever you fire your quad or contract your quad, then that tendon below your knee also fires. It also contracts. So that's a way that you can hold yourself up. So I had to train myself every time I took a step to fire my quad so that tendon would fire, so that I could hold myself up so I wouldn't fall down. Crazy, right? Learn how to walk. And that's just the beginning. This whole fun episode, right? And you think it's easy? It's not. It's hard. It's crazy hard how hard it is to just to walk. And I imagine I need to learn how to jog and run and work out and you train all these different things. So, but my residual limb, my stump, or as I like to call it, his name is Drago, but it was going to be sore for a while. Doctors told me it might be a year or two before it actually heals and stops being so sore. So what was I going to do? Was I going to wait a year or two before I start walking? No. So unfortunately there are amputees out there that do wait. It hurts and they just don't want to move, and I understand it. I get it. But I was gonna power through, right? So I was gonna just work through the pain. I had a goal of getting back to fighting fire, and I wasn't gonna let anything stop me, especially, something like a little leg amputation, right? So was it painful standing on it for the first time? Yep. Taking those first few steps? Yep. Did the pain go away anytime soon after that? Nope. But, I didn't care. I'm doing this, right? What was I going to do? Let a little pain from a little leg amputation stop me? Who am I? What is my character? What's your character? How do you respond when life, is hard and painful? Do you give up? I hope not. But it starts with a mindset. All right. Whether you tell yourself you can or you can't, either way, you're right. All right. Think about that, guys. Now, after I started walking again, I was ready to push to the next level, right? And there are multiple levels here that I had to reach and exceed in order to get back to work. I'm not going to go through each level today. I will tell you, though, before I was allowed to go back to work, I had to pass a physical agility test. I had to get to the point where I could put my bunker gear on in less than 60 seconds, which weighs about 50 pounds with my air pack. I had to drag fire hose a couple hundred feet, which weighs a couple hundred pounds. I had to climb a ladder to the third floor window, climb in, search for a victim. climb back out and back down. I had to pull hose to a second story window from the ground. I had to drag a 185-pound victim a certain amount of feet. There are various other tasks that I needed to complete in order to be qualified to fight fire again. And all of that with a prosthetic leg that I'm trying to balance on and coordinate and use strength and power. And I'm just going to tell you right now, it's hard. It's very hard. So do you think I ever thought about giving up? Of course I thought about it. I'm human, right? So this isn't easy, but I love my job. I love serving my community, helping people on their worst day. That's whatever it took, that's what I was going to do to get back. It's just, that's my character. Do what it takes, never give up. Right now, besides the physical aspect of this thing, there is an even a bigger challenge here, and it's the mental side. I know you guys are 11, 12, 13, years old right now, and your bodies are changing, and so is your mind. Your brain is going crazy sometimes, right? So you got all this information that's coming in, you're trying to process. Your parents are teaching you things. Your amazing teachers are teaching you, new concepts, and your friends are telling you things that you've never heard before. It's a lot to take in. Now besides the drama of junior high relationships, right? Now throw in some real life adversity, right? It can be really, really challenging to stay on track and keep moving forward, but I'm here to tell you guys that you can do it. All right. But you have to get your mind right first. All right. If you only do the easy things in life, life will be hard. But if you do the hard things in life, life will be easier. All right. Some of you might not like math, but keep working at it. All right. English and reading and writing may not come easy to you, but don't stop trying. I'm pretty sure you have the best English teacher in the world. And so she would go to the ends of the world for you guys, but you got to keep working. Never give up. All right. I've never been much of a why me kind of person, and I would encourage you to be the same. It can always be worse, and I know that everything happens for a reason. It's hard to say that sometimes, though, whenever you're going through something, but at the end of the day, I know that that's true. Everything happens for a reason. And I wouldn't have said this a year ago, but I believe that this is a gift, and I'm going to use this gift to help others. What do you think about that? I'm going to use this gift to help others. I hope you're uplifted. I hope you're encouraged. I hope you're, excited about that comment, because I want you to know that I'm choosing to be happy. I'm choosing to use this tragic event in my life to help others get through the adversity. Whatever adversity they're going through, I want to help them. I want to help you. I want to help you guys. I'm deciding how my story goes. How's your story going? It's all about perspective, guys. Be positive, take life by the horns, and you decide how your day is going to go. If I can get back to fighting fire in less than a year after my leg is amputated, you can literally do anything you put your mind to. Don't ever give up. Never give up. I love you guys. All right. Adapt and overcome.